Live show tonight, shall we? I took last night off so I could go drink. And tonight we are back with an exclusive with the new director of OPM, Scott Kupor. Before we do that, let's pay the bills. You know how this goes.
Our nation is standing up for American workers, restoring the pride of making products here at home. That's what we do every day. We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, delivering brands that have been enjoyed for generations, creating good-paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic. Because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
Today's episode is brought to you by one of our sponsors, the American Beverage Association. You guys have been seeing these videos that have been playing for the past month, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about them. A lot of people are talking American jobs these days, which is great, but our friends at America's Beverage Companies have been walking the walk this whole time, providing good-paying jobs, the kind that only require a strong work ethic, jobs that make it possible to raise a family, put down roots, and build a future. They always have been and always will be American companies making American products with American workers all across this great country. 275,000 American workers across all 50 states show up every day and put in an honest day's work to help make America great at America's Beverage Companies. Learn more at wedeliverforamerica.org. That's wedeliverforamerica.org. Here's another one.
If history has taught us anything, it's not to root against the underdog. Right, Peter?
No spoilers.
It pays to know what's coming.
Check the group chat!
To chart your own course.
I'm sure that's nothing.
Because the 1 in a million long shot can work. When the whole world picks Goliath, you know it's going to be David. Every great leap began with a bold first step. And there's no shortage of second chances. Against impossible odds, you don't stand down. You swing first.
Joining me now is my friend, good old Remso Martinez. I'll make him the same size as me. How about that? Hey, how you doing, Remso?
Tim, it's a pleasure being on. I love that Conti ad. I don't know what I could say, legally and stuff, but I lost $50 the other night, and it still bothers me.
Hey, it's fine. It happens. It's all in fun. I really like that Kelce ad a lot. I think that's the coolest ad. And I've told people this a million times on the show. When I first saw it, I was like, hey, I know all I have to do is mention you guys on the show and tag you or whatever, but can I just have the commercial to run on the show? And they're like, yeah, of course you can. Because it was that cool. Listen, I want to talk to you about a bunch of stuff. Remso Martinez, social media marketer, marketing genius extraordinaire. But to start the show today, I just got the final copy of What's in Your Office with Scott Kupor. And it's kind of an interesting run for me and you, because you were, when we were at the Washington Times together, the guy who during COVID posted all my travels and helped me kind of become one of the most popular things in the Washington Times history at that point.
Probably ever. That wasn't an editor or, you were a columnist, but definitely in terms of figures out there, there may be probably only 2 or 3 names that you could throw out at the Washington Times. During 2020, you made people pay attention. And we did that for a very intentional reason.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with you then. I'm glad that we've remained friends, even though there were times where I don't even know where the hell you were in the country and you didn't know where I was. But here we are back together again, Remso Martinez. So I used to do a little travel segment there. I still have all those videos. The Washington Times doesn't have those videos anymore because after you left, they hit the kibosh button on all of the stories, because it was a lot of Instagram stories where we had them held, and whoever came in to run social media after you deleted all their saved stories, because why would they save them?
It was kind of like giving people a brand new Mercedes. You touch up the paint, you clear up the scratches, you clean the leather, and you tell them, don't break it. And then what do? They kind of run it into a ditch. And that's the politest way I could frame it. But it's funny because when we were doing that in 2020, Instagram was only picking up because people were so tired of getting banned on Twitter and fighting with their relatives on Facebook. TikTok was still kind of coming, into the mix. It was more of like a Gen Z thing. but people started paying attention to Instagram because it was still a little bit less political and you could actually like create stuff and have fun. Stories was a couple of years old, but this is before you had them steal TikTok's ideas and implement Reels.
Yeah.
So it was really an experiment with what can we get away with, because everything was shut down. It's amazing how many smart, capable, talented people, all self-proclaimed, just lost the ability to be creative and to think outside the box. And you were the only one at that time, other than a few, I'm trying to find a nice way to say it, other than a few copycats, so to speak, that was actually going out on your own pocket, traveling the country when you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, no, I did 35 states and 80 cities. It was a great time. And when we go back, we're going to go back to that conversation. We're going to talk about a lot more about that in a second. But I want to get to, so it's a little bit of a longer segment. What's in your office? We had the first exclusive interview with Scott Kupor, the new director of the Office of Personnel Management in the Trump administration. And I'm going to do that now. I'm going to mute you for the time being, and I'm going to mute myself because we're going to yap. I know how we go. And we're going to run this special. Let me see here. So let's sit back and enjoy, and I will be back with you momentarily. Well, we'll both be back with you momentarily. Here we go. The real question here. Yeah. Because I would do it. As soon as you got the job, you come into the office. Do you sit at the head of the table, give it a little spin?
You know,
you can tell us. Nobody watches this.
The truth of the matter, I didn't. I actually, to be honest,
have you sat there yet?
I have. We had a meeting earlier today.
Thought we were going to get a first.
Tim, how are you?
Good, Director Kupor. I love what you've done with the place.
Yeah, I was going to say we spent a lot of money on renovations and decorations here.
So this is going to be a move-in edition because you've only been here 3 days, 2 days.
Well, today is 4, actually. Believe it or not.
Can I ask you just to start with this? You came from private industry. You did okay there. What are you thinking coming to work for the federal government? Because me personally, I'm going to look directly at the camera. I wouldn't do it.
Funny, my wife asked me the same question. So I think the honest answer is, I think we have hopefully not this, but maybe a once in a generational opportunity to actually do some real good on behalf of the American people. We've got to get our fiscal house in order. And I also really strongly believe, look, we ought to have the very best people that we can kind of working on behalf of the American people at all times. And so my hope is that we can accomplish both of those goals. I'm not looking for some other government job, so if I get run out of town, that's okay, basically. I'm comfortable with that.
I hope you don't get run out of town.
I hope I don't either. But
yeah, listen, I mean, going through I just couldn't imagine going through the process where you have Democrats bringing up, I don't know, old tweets or whatever. You got anything you can think of and just being as negative as possible. Yeah. You just got through that. It's got to be a relief, right?
Look, I think you just have to think about it for what it is, right? Which, look, I totally understand. Look, we're a very divided country. People have very different views on this stuff. And the best advice I got, which I think is the right advice, is look, you're not going to win an argument, right? So you're not going to convince somebody on the Democratic side who just has very different views. And that's fine. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to figure out, okay, how can we take the ideas that the president has given us and figure out a way to do some good. So
let me ask you the most basic question. What does OPM do?
So again, I hate to come back to this, but so it's a very honest answer is I never heard the 3 letters OPM and I didn't know what it did when they first started talking about this job. The very simple way I think about OPM is, look, we're responsible for making sure that the workforce of the federal government is efficient and actually has all the skills that we need to make the government kind of a fantastic place to work and to be able to attract and retain the very best people.
So just for people watching this, what will be in these amazing shelters? Is this where you put the candy? What's the...
I'll be honest with you, if it's left up to me instead of Catherine, there will be nothing there because I'm a very minimalist kind of guy. As you'll soon see in my office, there's absolutely nothing in there. So
can I see inside the office? Let's go. I'm going to follow
you inside. Are you
come
following
on,
me?
This is your new office.
Okay, good, okay. The only thing I need are my bare essentials, which you see on the desk, which is, for anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge Quest Bar fan. This is not an endorsement for Quest Bar, by the way. As long as I have my Quest Bars, my decaf coffee, and my Diet Coke, I'm good, basically. That's all I need. There's something fun here, which I didn't realize. So this is a secret closet, so hopefully you're not going to broadcast this to too many people. But
no, nobody watches this.
But I do have a secret closet where, in theory, there's what you might call a safe room, although, it's not quite the modern equivalent of a safe room. So
what?
At least I have some place to go to if it turns out, we have some emergency that requires, this thing.
That's where you hide the bullhorn.
Exactly, right. So
that's when staff gets out of line, you come back here, you get that, you come marching out with the bullhorn.
Hopefully we don't need that, and don't tell anybody about the secret closet, but it does exist, yes.
About it. I know that you're so new in this building.
Yeah.
That they gave me a list of facts, and I think they gave you the same list of facts.
I did, yeah. You and I have the same piece of paper,
I got it in
right?
my back
Exactly.
pocket.
All right.
Do you want to go learn about the building together?
Let's do it. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
You have a lift in front of you. I mean, cleaning up the federal workforce, making it more efficient. Is that the hardest job in government? Because I worked at Social Security for a bit.
Is that right?
I'm not going to knock it. They do great work. They help out many people. They could be a little bit more efficient.
Organizations are very simple in my mind, which is, look, organizations are made up of people. And people respond to incentives, right? If you remember that, you know everything you need to know about organizations. And look, I think the big challenge for the federal government has been, there has never been an incentive around efficiency, right? It's never been anybody's job to say, okay, can we actually spend taxpayer dollars as efficiently as possible? Could we do the services we're doing better, but do them at less cost? In fact, my impression is, at least, it's been the opposite in government, which is, look, you derive power from having the most number of people, from having the biggest budgets. Those are the things that kind of give people kind of power and, help them really increase their span of control. And so a lot of this is just, we have to change the incentives. And so one of the things that I hope we can do, and we're certainly going to do it inside of OPM, and I hope we can be a partner across the rest of the government, is to say, look, the incentives are, you're a steward of taxpayer dollars. And your job is, we got to deliver the services we have to deliver at the highest quality, but we also constantly need to think about, how can we do it better? How can we lower the cost? Maybe we can use automation. Maybe we need to reorganize the organization, whatever it may be. And I think if we change incentives, and we have a reward system, of course, that tracks to that. So people get promoted because they, do those things, or people get bonuses and stuff like that. I think that's the way you ultimately make change in an organization. So the short answer to your question is, yeah, look, this is not going to be easy. It's going to be hard because you're dealing with, obviously, a 2.5 million, person organization that has been operating some way for a long period of time. But I think we have the opportunity to at least kind of start from very, very basic principles of align people around incentives, make sure that the reward system reflects that. And then I think we at least have a shot.
Have you been in this room yet?
I have been in this room, actually. I had a meeting.
So this is the USS Theodore Roosevelt conference room.
Yes.
Built with the wood from
Yes.
the USS Theodore Roosevelt.
That's what I heard.
That is wild.
And I even heard a rumor that apparently a long time ago in the basement here, there was actually a woodworking shop. Well, I will point out one flaw, which is, you'll notice on every chair, your normal chair that you think when you push this button, it lifts up. For some reason, you can test it yourself. They don't actually go up. So
they just don't do.
You are permanently at low, you're permanently at low level when you go to the table.
Real question here.
Yeah.
Because I would do it. As soon as you got the job, you come into the office, you sit at the head of the table, give it a little spin. You can tell us. Nobody watches this.
The truth of the matter, I didn't. I actually, to be honest.
Have you sat there yet?
I have. We had a meeting earlier today.
Thought we were going to get a first.
I actually don't like to sit at the head of the table. Part of the culture I hope to bring here to OPM is, we just want to get stuff done, basically, right? So let's forget about formality. Let's forget about protocol. We don't need to, everything doesn't have to go through 5 layers of chain of command to get done, right? I just want people to be in an environment where it's like, look, if you have great ideas, let's talk about them. Obviously, look, everybody can't be a decision maker, so we have to ultimately make some decisions. But let's not create artificial barriers to getting things done. And sometimes I think protocol and all that stuff obviously can get in your way. Good.
Let me ask you this, though. I'm just going to say, let's do a word association. DEI.
Is gone.
There we go. All right. That's how cool is this? I mean, come on. This is.
It is funny. I did send it to my kids when it went up, and again, I'll save you the actual commentary that I got. But suffice it to say, as usual, it was a great fodder for them to make fun of their father, basically. But
it's got to be crazy.
Yeah.
To just, because I couldn't imagine running an organization like this. What are you doing here? You're day 4.
Yeah, day 4. Yeah.
What is your goal right now? What are you working on?
So, I mean, the honest answer, most of what I'm doing right now is literally trying to meet with as many people as possible, and quite frankly, just get my head around, what are we doing, what's working, what do we have for opportunities. So, which has been great, and I've learned a ton, and I feel like I have a good sense of stuff. If I boil it up, though, basically to me, there's 3 very basic, high-level things we want to do, right, over the next 4 years or. One we talked about, which is, look, operational efficiency is critical, right? And so, we want OPM to be incredibly efficient, and we want it to be a partner to the other agencies. So that's kind of, we absolutely have to do that. The second thing, we really want to create a high-performance culture in the government, right? And so that means everything from, making sure performance management works, making sure we go through the recruiting pipeline and figure out, what are the bottlenecks to us preventing people from being able to kind of get the talent they need in the organization. Anything, that they're all the way through to, okay, when people are retiring and stuff, how do we make sure that we do that in a way that respects their service and makes it kind of, work well for them? And then the third big thing is, look, we know, as I mentioned, we know AI is going to be critical to the future of government work and private sector work. And so we need to get the government ready for that. And so that means we've got to figure out talent-wise, what are all the gaps we have? We've got to figure out ways in which we make sure that, again, we're not kind of sitting on our back foot and waiting for the technology to come and for us to be 5 years behind, but that we have the workforce that will be ready for those new challenges that will come with that. So those are like, in very simple terms, like that's the three things that I think we really want to focus on. And, that's what I'm trying to do over the, first, couple days here is just get enough of a background from like the folks here as to what's working, what's not working, where do we need to spend our time so we can hopefully kind of achieve those objectives.
I like how the elevator picks its own floor. That was amazing how that just worked. That must be AI that did that.
Exactly. It knew exactly where we were going.
Anyone directly behind me that did that.
All right, so I think where we're going to go is, which I think,
Over here.
I think they call the museum. Our name benefactor, at least for this building, of course, is Teddy Roosevelt, and that was kind of, because of all of his work with the U.S. Civil Service Commission, which was kind of the precursor to OPM. And I've never actually taken a look at this, so you and I are seeing this for the first time, but my understanding is the Smithsonian actually manages this on our behalf because these are actually legit artifacts.
Are those his glasses and hat?
It looks that way, yeah.
All right, I do want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's extremely important, yeah. Obviously, as you can see from the writing here, this is, to recognize people who, have been part of the workforce here who unfortunately kind of sacrificed their lives for the good of the country. And so it's wonderful that it's here at the entrance because it gives everybody an opportunity when they come in each day to remember, look, we're doing great work here, but at the end of the day, there are some people who've kind of had the ultimate sacrifice to make sure that, this country can do the things that we all want to do and everybody can kind of live their dream. And so we're certainly grateful for all of this activity.
And I'm grateful for President Trump, and you are what I voted for, sir.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
so glad that you're here, and you're going to make this government much more efficient, and save me some money. That's all I care. I just want to save me some money.
Well, we're going to save you some money, but we're also going to make sure that we deliver the services that we need to deliver to make sure that this country stays the great country that it is.
Well, I'm going to let you go back to
Awesome.
work, and I want to thank you for all your time today
Great.
and taking time to talk with us
Great.
here.
Hey, Tim, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You take care.
See ya.
We'll see you soon.
I guess I can unmute us now. Not bad, right?
Only you could make OPM seem interesting, and it's weird. It's weird. Man. I have a lot of things I don't like to say publicly, but here's one of them. I'm actually an OPM nerd because this is going to be a real deep cut. Okay, you just got to come with me on this one. All right.
Okay.
In 2015, I met Reagan's OPM director, Don Devine, and he came to speak to an intern class I was part of at the Media Research Center when I was at Newsbusters. And I'm just like, this is like the HR of government. Like, this is like the most boring stuff I've ever heard. But he came in and he actually explained it, but he gave a little bit of his history. And what he basically said was when Reagan brought him in, he was like, what do you want? And Devine went ahead and said, I want either the Department of Education or the Department of Labor because I want to go ahead and tear it down. And he said, okay, Don, that sounds great. I'm going to put you at OPM. And he was like, why? I'm a libertarian. Like, I don't want to be at OPM. That sounds like hell. And he's like, Don, I'm putting you there because you don't want to be there. And I want to go ahead and actually start keeping the federal workforce accountable and shrink it. And that's what he did. That's why we had the largest cut in federal employees under the Reagan administration. It was under Don Devine. So fast forward to like January, like December, January, okay, right after Trump comes back. And I know about a dozen folks who got a whole bunch of odds and ends appointment to the administration. It's wild to see people that you used to get beers with who are now wearing suits talking on Fox about like, you know, trade policy.
That's, yeah.
So I've got a friend, he did not end up accepting a role he was offered in the administration. But somebody up in Trump's cabinet basically sent him a message and was like, you've got 4 options. Where do you want to go? And he asked me, he's like, dude, where do you think I should go? And I'm like, man, I know it's not one of the options, but no one's talked about it yet. You should go for OPM. And he was like, and you lost me. So it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, OPM is what DOE should have been.
Yes.
It's really the accountability arm that's supposed to call out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is when it comes to spending money, especially among federal employees who, since COVID, have been largely caught double dipping under the Biden administration. So yeah, like some people watch C-SPAN for fun. I monitor OPM stuff. I am an OPM nerd.
That is, I'm sorry. Life gets
It
better.
doesn't get you laid much.
Nor
When
does
I was single,
nor does being a host of a show that tells what's in people's offices. It's fine. It works. No, that was pretty good. Actually, there's an outtake that I need them to edit for me, probably at some point here, where I asked him how to fire my assistant, and he gives me tips on how to fire people. We kept
like
it
with
out.
kindness.
No, I was like, if somebody's really annoying, how do you get rid of her? And then I point out, because I have a tiny person that follows me around all the time, and
We call them midgets, Tim.
me too. And especially Hank Johnson said it. So if a member of Congress does it, it's fine. But I asked how to fire her, and there's a little outtake. We want to keep it a little bit. I mean, it was funny. I just want to keep it a little bit more serious because it was his first exclusive interview. He just had a bunch of media in that room the other day, but really an honor to be able to go through and the big thing with him too is that guy doesn't need this job. What was his firm? He had a very successful venture capital firm. Scott Kupor, before he came into the government. I won't talk numbers, but I tell you what, if my firm was doing that kind of numbers, that's why the first thing I said to him was you do good outside of here. I wouldn't want to work for the federal government. He's there for he's got a mission. Like you said, OPM should be what Doge is, and that's what he's doing. And I trust him. It's these private guys, and especially people who are venture capital, because he knows how to make the most out of a very little bit of money. When you're doing startup stuff, you get somebody with a startup mindset that comes in and they can clean house and really, really make a difference. And I trust him in this job. And I think it was a great appointment from Trump.
You can tell a lot by the empty shelves. I'm really glad you asked that. What are you going to put there? And he was like, nothing. Don't get comfortable. You got a job to do. Don't need to measure the drapes and clean the carpet. You got business to get done. He
really is I'm dead serious. That guy is and he's just so normal too for what it is. He knows what the mission is, and he stays focused. Again, these are good people. And I did tomorrow the Kelly Loeffler piece gets released. I went to Small Business Administration with Kelly Loeffler last week too, and she's another one. She gets it. It's just boom, 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 boom. Actually, they had I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about, but they had literally just hung up photos of her travels. She's been to 22 states already in 2.5 months, and
impressive,
right? Visiting with all these small businesses and incredible businesses. One of them was oh my god, my favorite cigars that I can't think off the top of my head. Boy, am I a bad steward of these. No, they don't sponsor my real favorite cigars are Ezra Zion. I have them right there. But there's another cigar company she visited in Tampa, and we'll talk about it tomorrow when I do the show. But she just incredible. All of the work, all the people I've met so far in the Trump administration, the executives have been great people and doing great stuff. So
he's a better man than me, because I totally would have turned that Matt Lauer closet in the closet that he has into I put a TV there, a little disco ball, beanbag, play Halo during my lunch break or something. And he's just got the blowhorn. I mean, one, a lot of wasted potential, but two, my respect for him went up drastically.
The Matt Lauer closet.
Brother. That's a deep cut for people who know.
He had the switch on his desk. He had the switch to
that would lock people in.
When you call maintenance and you say, "Hey, can you install an automatic lock for the door that I can hit from my desk?" Do they say anything? Do they go "Hey, maybe"?
I assume that was just typical at NBC.
It had to be, right? So people actually couldn't get out of the office. They go to unlock the door and you hit the button.
That was the point.
That is.
Welcome to the Lauer zone.
Wasn't he super creepy? Not to go totally off topic here. Wasn't he super creepy with Meredith Vieira on air or something, or they had that was taped?
It was that. There was also he was the old guy who would do not Good Morning America, but he was on with Oprah's girlfriend. Something Rose.
Charlie Rose?
Charlie Rose, yeah, Charlie Rose also. I don't know if he had a dungeon per se like Matt Lauer, but he definitely had his corner. It's like don't go to that corner of the studio. That's where Charlie hangs out, kind of like a troll. So I just thought it was typical for most of those networks. You gotta have the creep corner, and then you have like the Lauer dungeon. You get an option.
The creep corner and the Lauer dungeon. That makes sense. Both
Yeah.
that, it's a whole. Jeez. Anyway, I got a shout out too before we go on to other conversations here. Tim Kennedy over at Daily Signal. He does all the filming for me. The next one we did without him, actually, it's going to be very interesting because he films and edits these, and he is fantastic. And just like I like the format and how they kind of the movement, the constant movement from the cameras. So we're going to see what happens with the. I have an interview coming up with Wesley Hunt from Houston, the congressman, the coolest congressman I think in Congress, other than Beth Van Dyne, personal, but like my personal congresswoman. But like, yeah, no, he's incredible, and it's an incredible interview. And we always just like get together and like it just turns into just us laughing for like an hour. And so it's a really good interview, and so I'm doing the editing on this one for once, and we're gonna see how it goes. Usually I sub it out to people, but I'm like I kind of want to do this one. This one's kind of. See, I haven't done editing in a minute. I used to do all my stuff at the Daily Caller, and at it was. You've worked in TV, right? Or no? Just all every.
I did public access.
Okay, yeah. Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have to deal with unions ever?
No, I was typically out of that.
So I had to deal with a union when I worked at Fox 5. I'm SAG-AFTRA because of Fox 5, but also there's like the production union and blah blah. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. So I couldn't edit my own comedy stuff and my own like one-man band type stuff. It had to be edited. And there were like 5 union complaints about me because I was editing my own stuff. Including the time, by the way, I was one of the first reporters ever to ride on a motorcycle. I think I was the first reporter ever to cover live Rolling Thunder in DC, you know, the big motorcycle rally for POW, MIA.
Yeah.
Folks, the incredible, like powerful event. And they complained that my personal filming, I needed to have a union member with me to personally film. And I go, I'm sorry.
Oh, like someone to sit in the bitch seat of the bike?
I was already in the bitch seat of the bike because I couldn't,
Oh,
I can't do the, so I was there already. I was like, were they supposed to be on my shoulders? Like, where was this going to go? Like, were we supposed to get a sidecar? Because that's just not happening. So that was one, but then I had to sit literally. So I have all my notes when I do these things. I know when things hit. And so I have to sit there with somebody else to hit the buttons on the computer to edit things because they obviously don't know comedic timing. I mean, incredible. A lot of Emmy Award winners I was working with over there at Fox 5. But I would have to sit there with them and tell them where to cut because if they didn't personally cut it, it was a violation of union rules and there would be like a crazy complaint file. So, but there were like 5 complaints filed because I used to do a segment called Take Tim to Work, very, very similar to this, where I interact with people in their own, their workplaces and their environments. And it was just ridiculous. The whole thing, it was just the union regulations. It's no wonder they can get anything done over there. And definitely
it's not meant to be efficient. It's just meant to keep people employed. When the only time I ever dealt with networks was when my brother and I produced a reality series. It was a docu-series that was on about 17 public access networks between like Delaware and Florida. So mainly East Coast based. And we were the only ones that actually like attended the classes because I was like, hey, these people are giving out all these like free courses on how to film, like might as well take advantage of it. So we really took advantage of it. And it was really funny because we would turn in our cuts of our episodes and we would time it for commercial breaks and everything. And I mean, we had already gotten pretty accustomed to how to do things on YouTube. So, I mean, the standard that we kind of held ourselves to was pretty high. But it was always funny because I always felt like we were turning in homework in like, kindergarten because, we turn in our stuff on the same day. So that way it could get aired and syndicated the next week. And, right before our big PBS run, I remember one of the producers just kind of, popped it into his laptop, popped the thumb drive and was watching. He's like, wow. You guys did such a good job. Like I'm a chihuahua or something. And I'm like, thanks, man. We're going to go now. And, just the level of quality that was there on the network. It was funny because we would come in and I would say that our stuff was on par with the Travel Channel. And it's not too much of a compliment. You compare any travel show on YouTube to what you're seeing on Travel Channel these days, and it kind of sucks. But for us, we were like, oh, we upped the game. And then you have people like in their Ted Kaczynski doing their like, conspiracy radio hours right after us. And it was funny. I look back now and I'm like, that's hilarious. But thank God we didn't have to deal with some of the stuff, because I knew enough people and had enough connections to to Fox and ABC at the time. And they're like, dude, like you get stuff done so fast. Like I couldn't imagine what it would be like if I could just run things myself for a little bit.
Let me tell you something. I don't know how you've worked with everyone. I worked with everyone. There's a difference between an efficient office and an inefficient office. And it is significant, because it's either things get done in like 2 or 3 days max, or things don't get done for 2 months. And it's such a weird, it's like the difference between former federal government that wasn't run by the Trump administration and Scott Kupor at OPM and the current stuff, like where it's like, just get it done. Just get it done. It is so bizarre to me that people can be employed and just not be able to be efficient with what they do, especially when you're dealing with government funds, because it doesn't, in private industry, it just doesn't fly. I mean, I just can't imagine. Like, I mean, and it's crazy. So, like, that's why I give Tim Kennedy a ton of credit, the guy who edited this and filmed this, whatever. I don't even know how many projects he works on all day long. And then when there's like some crazy live, so like when Tulsi Gabbard did her thing today, like he's got to watch it and clip it. Like I don't know how much help he has. I think he's got like 1 or 2 maybe people in the office, but this guy's like on his own, like doing everything. I mean, he is really truly a star. I know that because I told his boss that at a wedding on Friday too.
That's the most sincerest form of authenticity right there.
When I'm trashed, when I'm 20 deep, and I tell you what I think, and I like you. Let's be real though. Me drunk, not much different than me sober.
Minor differences.
Yeah. Actually, according to my staff, I'm nicer when I'm drunk.
Wow.
Right?
That's when they start asking for bonuses and stuff, right?
Have I given a bonus when I've been drunk? I think I have. I'm pretty sure I have.
Oh man. You opened up the Pandora's box.
Oh, I hit the old Venmo. I go, hey, you did a good job. Here's some Venmo.
Oh.
But again, a great team, and it wasn't just him. It was the whole comms team over there at the OPM, and then my executive producer Lauren Gorey, who is just a brilliant mind, and then Baby Nuggy was there, and like it was we just had a hell of a team there. It's really fun to travel with those people. Olivia also, there's a nice little lady named Olivia that works with Tim, and she was over there too. We keep running into each other because it was like, I think, did we film that first? I don't know. We filmed Kelly Loeffler first, and then we ran into he does all this stuff, and then on top of that, like when you see like the Daily Signal in Congress, he's there like setting up the entire equipment and like the whole like mobile studio thing.
Is this dude like Puerto Rican or something?
What, he like got everything in his truck and just pulls it out? Like, was it? I've never seen and again, like it's I think it's just because he's like in it and is good at what he does and believes in the stuff. I've never seen and again, like this is, he's gonna pull this video out because I know they clip my show. They're gonna pull this video out, and he should get himself a raise.
So what you're saying is, when we get JD Vance in a little bit, JD Vance has to go ahead and make Tim Kennedy OPM director. That's how you're tying this all together.
He really, I tell you what, man, this guy, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I don't know where he ends up. I don't know where you go. Like, it's
Tim, if you're watching this, remember the random guy who said he was an OPM nerd, because always looking to. I'll do it for free, man. I'll be the guy that fires people. Okay.
I'd do that for free. Oh, I would do that for free. You send me around. It's like you get me on a ripe day when the power goes out in my studio, and I'll show up anywhere. I mean, this is still the backup studio I'm in right now. This is going to be my permanent studio, I think. But like, we're working on a backup studio because I still have power out in one room of my house, and it's not like a surge thing or anything like that, or
What was it when you were trying to install your Matt Lauer closet?
you know what? I mean,
Stuff happens.
yeah, and now I have to sit the fuck around tomorrow while I want to go review the Fantastic Four movie. Do you think the Fantastic Four movie is going to be any good?
This is kind of
Seamless
traumatic.
seamless segue.
This is gonna be kind of traumatic. I've started skipping out Marvel stuff,
Me
and
too.
I say this as somebody that did a comic book podcast for 4 years.
That's why I'm asking you.
I can't. I'm not gonna go watch it. It's not even anything about the Fantastic Four, or Marvel, or Disney at this point. And I went to go see James Gunn's Superman, which was good, but I don't want to give Pedro Pascal any money.
That's where I am. I don't like that guy.
Something
Also,
about him is as the Zoomer chicks will say, just gives me the ick. I don't know what it is. I can't really put my finger on it. I put a post about this on X like a couple hours ago. I'm just like, something just doesn't feel right. Something just does not feel right. And I don't want to see him in as Mr. Fantastic. I don't want to see another movie with him. Like I'm just something's wrong. Something's gonna come out about this guy, and then we're all gonna be like, yeah, Mandalorian was hiding something else under that helmet. Like something's just not right.
does he always have the mustache?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he like includes that in all of his contracts that he has to have the mustache.
Because like it really is just a random casting when you had John Krasinski just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like maybe Krasinski didn't want to touch it. I don't know.
That was like the ultimate fan casting. And I mean, to bring him in only to kill him as they did in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. People tried, it's a lot of these like left wing, Marvel Disney acolytes. They tried saying, well, Jessica Alba, Latina, couldn't play a blonde chick. I'm like, there's a difference though. Like, she actually looks like Sue Storm as Jessica Alba, but like Pedro Pascal couldn't even shave the mustache. Like Disney could not give him enough money to shave the mustache. Like, I'm sorry, Mr. Fantastic is not Chilean. That's just it. And we don't need representation in the Fantastic Four. The last time they did that was with Michael B. Jordan, stellar actor. Sinners is the best movie of the year. It didn't work well when they made him the Human Torch in the Josh Trank 2015 Fantastic Four. So it's a mix of those things, but it's not really oriented towards the film. I've heard some reviews from folks that got to see it in advance, but for me, it's just Pedro Pascal, man. Like something's not sitting right with me.
Yeah. Your audio is terrible, by the way. I love you, but your audio is so terrible tonight. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. It's just like it like hit me when because I want to listen to you and it's like going in and out, but I still love you. Yeah, no, there's something weird about it. Like I don't understand why he's being forced on everyone so much. Like he's gay, right?
No, but he has the brother who became a sister.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just doesn't like. It's like he stands out like a sore thumb in this film. By the way, wasn't there a whole thing where they went and reshot the entire end of the Fantastic Four?
That was a rumor. They went ahead and basically changed the ending of that to fit in with the last minute ending for the Thunderbolts. Where, spoiler alert, because it's been a couple months, and the Thunderbolts, you see the Fantastic Four spaceship coming out of nowhere at the end credit.
Okay, well, I've heard already what the Avengers Doomsday is supposed to look like, and like what it just seems crappy. And Captain Marvel is back in it, and I'm like, I don't want to see her ever again as well.
They brought She-Hulk back in it, so I hope you like.
Your audio is so much better.
I thought I'd go ahead and improve it just for you.
You just unplug your microphone, right?
Just straight up did that. We're going old school.
Did the same thing here with my computer. In the other studio, I have like all this microphone. I have a mixer and everything you can think of. Here, it's just I'm
still getting things set up here in Vegas. You see the box in the corner. I'm so glad that Scott Cooper didn't actually appear on this. Like I was worried for 2 seconds, so he could see my office dysfunction, which is the opposite of his functional office. But yeah, we just gotta make it work sometimes.
This is a wall of something here, and all of my things as I travel. There's a lot of. I mean, my whole house is just like a hoarding house. As I'm now
You saw Superman, right?
Yeah, I gave it a bad review.
I walked out and I was just like, this and Man of Steel are like two different things.
Okay, so let's do this. If we didn't live, my whole review was, if we didn't live in a time when I knew everything was political, I would have been able to get through it. But when it started with him stopping Israel from invading Palestine with two different names, and then you see it later on because it's a major military going in against, local farmers that have pitchforks and rocks. You're like, oh, that's exactly what that is. There were so many references in there. Yeah.
So my only argument with you is it couldn't have been Palestine. Those children didn't have bombs strapped to them.
I mean,
that we saw.
Well, they're also innocent. I'm surprised that they didn't show them like blowing up a hospital or something, or like a school
for peace.
For peace.
I didn't see the ocean. I didn't see the sea.
The river. It's from the river.
The river. I don't pay attention to what they say.
By the way, my favorite part is when have you ever seen the street interviews where they go to the protesters and ask what river and what sea?
What river, what sea? And it's just them running away in fear.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I like the movie if I could turn my brain off. And the coolest part, by the way, was that they went and filmed the Hall of Justice at the Cincinnati train station the Hall of Justice was ripped off from. And they even left.
I did not notice that.
Oh, brother. Have you ever been to the Cincinnati train station?
No.
Hold on.
I've been to the Hall of Justice in Elkhorn, Indiana.
No,
which was in someone's backyard.
Cincinnati's Union Terminal, and you're gonna see this and lose your shit. There needs to be a really good photo of this though, because they have where's the fountain in front of it? Yeah, okay.
Elkhart, Indiana. I have to say that because before some Hoosier jumps in the comments and corrects me. And in Elkhart, Indiana, some guy built a Hall of Justice in his backyard. Holy shit, that's the Hall of Justice.
It is. No, it is. And it's like they actually went in. So they have a museum inside and stuff, but they actually, I believe, filmed there. That's out front when you look down. I'm looking for like a straight shot. Come on. Yeah, you can see here we go. That's a good one.
Oh, that is okay. Yeah, they you don't need Disney CGI for that right there.
It is literally what they used for the Hall of Justice. And
stuff like this ticks me off. We used to have such beautiful architecture.
Oh my God, right? Like,
yeah.
Look at so I believe they did film in it or out front of it at least. And they left. I mean, it's remarkable there. Like, there you go.
That's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah, that's straight up the Hall of Justice.
And that's what they used for the Hall of Justice in DC Comics back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there you go. I can't believe you didn't know that.
That is something that's completely new for me.
You go there and that's literally like, I think 10 minutes from like all the stadiums in Cincinnati and stuff too. I mean, it's just right downtown.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yep. And they have anyway, but I believe in it, I remember like thinking, holy shit, they filmed inside the Hall of Justice. It said two trains on the wall. I think they left that in there just to kind of like give it a little, but yeah, I was totally blown away by that when I saw it and was like, just so excited to see the Hall of Justice actually honored.
I watched the Superman Lois series on CW, and my big criticism of it was that the TV show looked higher budget than the movie did in some cases. It's like TV looks expensive and movies look cheap now.
Yeah. Yes. Shuck says you can't miss the new Hall of Justice. It has a giant LGBTQ plus and Palestinian flag. Yeah.
Nothing stays gold forever, Pony Boy.
That was, I just really wanted to like the movie and I just couldn't get into it. It felt okay. So it was back and forth for me. Let's talk about the Superman movie, because I just kind of talked about it from a political stance where I'm sure they like giggled to themselves while they were writing things. And I'm like, okay, we get it. But to me, like watching it, it got dark and then it was kind of goofy. I feel like it couldn't quite find a rhythm between dark and goofy, or like serious and goofy.
It was totally inconsistent, and I mean that for all the criticisms, and I say this as a Zack Snyder apologist, I think that Man of Steel isn't just probably the best superhero movie ever made, but probably one of the best films ever made. At least it's consistent all the way through. But like you can't have the seriousness and then immediately pull it out for the laughs. Like it felt like a Marvel movie. And the two things that really stuck out for me was I think I agreed with one part of your review, which is I didn't like how they portrayed Mom Pa Kent. That's very much like an East Coast attitude that Gunn tends to have of what flyover country looks like. And even that conversation between Pa Kent and Clark, while it's a sweet moment between father and son, how can that even be comparable to Kevin Costner in Man of Steel? Because that scene in which he tells Clark, like, don't save me after Costner went to go save the dog and now he's going to get killed by the tornado. Like, I'm not a guy that cries during movies, but that scene tugs at my heartstrings a lot. So you go from that moment to this. And I said, and it's not just an anti-James Gunn thing. I said the same thing about the moment of when Martin Sheen dies as Uncle Ben in Amazing Spider-Man compared to the guy who played Uncle Ben in the Sam Raimi films. It's hard that there's this comparison. I think if you had this movie and then Man of Steel, if you had kind of reversed the trend and it was like, we want to go darker and more edgy, I would have been like, wow, like they really upped it. In this case, because of the timeline, it's like, wow, they really downgraded.
Yeah,
and
no,
everything just felt like a downgrade. I mean, I want to go ahead and just say I liked David Cornsweet as Superman. I think as an actor,
yeah,
as he did it, I hope he stays along for a long time because that was my biggest worry. Put someone in there that does a good job as Superman, respects the characters, but respects the fans. Much like Cable did.
So I actually liked. So here's the problem I have. I liked all the characters, except for like who was the girl? Is it Kat, the wacky newsroom
Cat
girl?
Grant?
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's like, come on, what is this? Also,
yeah, she was just kind of there.
Lex Luthor's girlfriend was goofy too. She was almost the exact same character. But it was like, again, it just couldn't find. It was very clear that he was trying to do Guardians of the Galaxy with characters that weren't Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And you had what they should have just done was just dive in and have a Justice League. Just have them all there. Just spend the money. You have all the licensing.
He doesn't succeed well when he's not doing an ensemble film. Because all the films where he's tried to do like a singular character focus, like Super, which he did with Rainn Wilson, they're all horrible. And he had Kevin Bacon in that movie. They're all horrible. He leans on ensemble cast, and in some ways, like Guardians, for example, it's fantastic. And then he goes off. I mean, I would even say, like, give him credit where credit's due. The first Scooby-Doo for 2001, 2002, like, pretty good given the circumstances of what the movie is. But, like, I watched Creatures Commando, which is, like, the first chapter in his new DC universe. Creature Commando sucked. It was way too many characters, way too much exposition, way too much backstory. Then you get to the end of the season, and you're just like, this is what they chose to reboot the universe with instead of Superman? I'm still not getting over that.
I mean, Peacemaker was kind of wacky too. You're right. It's all ensemble stuff that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad, he can't get away from not having like a diverse cast of like, and it's all the same characters just wrapped up in different packages over and over again.
Woman with insecurity, extra smart, dangerous black guy, angry loudmouth white dude, additional muscle.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But Peacemaker, it's the bigger black chick is like the brains, right? Isn't she? Or is it there's a nerdy white guy?
The one who's supposed to play Amanda Waller's daughter.
Yeah.
I'll give her credit though. At least she was funny. Like, at least she was funny.
Yeah, no, I will say, so I liked Peacemaker more than I liked the Peacemaker show more than I liked, boy, this is turning into Nerdville, more than I liked the Superman movie. And I think I thought it ran a little long. I thought they didn't need as many episodes as what they had there.
Peacemaker was supposed to be absurd, and there was really nothing to compare it to. It was
Yeah.
really their attempt at Deadpool, but I think they owned it, and,
Yep.
and they did pretty well. Whereas of Superman, I mean, it's it's for some of the same reasons I've been chronically disappointed with like the Tom Holland Spider-Man, the MCU. Like you can tell that they're using him to boost other characters, and he's more of like a piece instead of being the main character. He really doesn't have an arc throughout this movie. People are like, "Oh, well, he's happy. He's happy-go-lucky Superman," despite the fact that his I thought the left canceled Uncle Ben, different Uncle Ben. But like he, other than changing the fact that Jor-El basically told him to, slay the ops and get hose. Like there's really not much.
No, friend. No, you didn't catch the messaging. There was that he wanted him to be a colonizer. He wanted him to be a colonizer, and he decided not to be a colonizer because he's woke.
Oh, he checked his privilege.
He checked his privilege because he could have come here. I mean, that was ridiculous in the film. If you haven't seen the film by now, who cares?
If you haven't seen it by now, I don't think you're seeing it. I know a lot of people have just been like, I was going to wait a week, and I just said, no.
Yeah, no. When they magically had like, it was like, "We love you, son. We're sending you to Earth," and then all of a sudden it turned dark, and it's like you should
kill everybody. Take as many wives for your harem as you want.
That's so ridiculous. But that was he was you got to be a colonizer, and thank God he didn't. But the end. So what really just made me groan about the film and the inconsistency and the trying to be goofy was when Supergirl shows up at the end. And I'm like, okay, all right. Also, just Cosmo, or what's his name? What's the dog's name? I always forget the dog's name.
Crypto.
Stupid. I'm stupid. Why do I think it's Cosmo? Was there a dog named Cosmo at some point?
No.
Well, in anything else?
Probably.
Yes, Cosmo the space dog is Marvel.
Oh, in the astronaut suit.
Yes. So
they gender changed Cosmo in Guardians 3.
Oh, good God.
It's a chick now.
But no, so it's
Gunn did what Whedon always did. It's always the self-proclaimed feminists who, when they bring in, supposedly strong female characters, they always make them like dumb, slutty alcoholics. And you compare that to like, Zack Snyder, for example, and he creates strong, independent female characters who are not dumb or alcoholics or super loose. So don't you see like a weird thing where it's like, oh, they always want to bring in these characters to like, uphold the presentation of women and to represent all women. And then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to make her a partier who just showed up and called her cousin a bitch.
Yeah. God. All right, let's do this. We have to do a little bit of I want to do a little bit of shift here because, is that you? I don't know if that's the right website. Let's talk elections for a second because you do a very significant amount of work with elections, and you work with a good friend of mine, Cliff Maloney, who I love, and so it's Citizens Alliance.
Shout out Cliff, go Birds.
Is that what are we doing Citizens Alliance? Is that what we're talking about?
Let's go to campaignjobsnow.com
Got it.
/apply.
Okay, hold on. So we're gonna go here. By the way, I would love to talk to you. I want to bring you on regularly to do nerdy stuff. So okay, so here we are. Launch your career in politics. Let's get you over here. And
so here's the breakdown.
Okay.
We've got massive elections going across the country. We need people. We need patriots, America first, liberty-minded patriots to get out. But the problem is that they got to travel. It takes time away from work and from family. Well, we went ahead and solved that. Not only are we going to try and knock 500,000 doors in Pennsylvania to build a red wall and to make sure Democrats can never win a general election in our lifetime again, but we're also getting door knockers out for the governor's race in New Jersey. Excellent. So right now, you can go ahead and make up to $3,100 a month as the base pay. So $3,100 is the base pay. Plus, we'll cover your housing. Plus, we'll cover your gas. Plus, we'll cover all your training. So that way you can take the time out. This is great for college students. This is great for folks that, are taking a semester off or something, or even folks that are just between jobs and want to get involved in politics on a part-time or full-time basis. We'll pay you. We'll go ahead and cover your housing. We'll go ahead and cover your gas. We'll go ahead and take you out to these places where the next battlefield is, because Democrats never take a day off. Neither do we. It's campaignjobsnow.com/apply. If you love liberty, if you want to keep up the momentum to save our republic, and if you want to have an adventure at the same time, this is it. We need door knockers across America. You can apply and get started today, because we start knocking doors August 1st through Election Day this November.
Wow.
A lot of doors, a lot of places. We got a lot of spots to fill. So go ahead and apply today. We need patriots to actually step up and get the job done like we did last time.
Here's Liz S. Working on a campaign is a ton of hard work, but you build a family through it. I am still close with everybody I worked with, and we regularly point each other toward new professional opportunities. That is true. I will say personally, I was stuck in Pennsylvania with a gentleman who is now a partner at a major law firm in New York. Worked for the legal team for we'll pretend it wasn't W in 2004, but it was 2004. It's 20 years ago. And this guy is still a great friend of mine. And that is very, very true. If you're looking to build a community, you want to meet some people from around the country, you want to get friends everywhere. And the thing is, every time I go to New York, I see him, and we still hang out. And we're just old men now that yell at each other when we show up, but it's a good time.
But no, it's the old days of knocking doors.
Yeah, well, we were on the legal team, but you knock doors together. I wasn't about to knock a door. I'd get shot where we were in Pennsylvania. But God bless the people that are out there, because I know you guys did a lot of work. I mean, you were everywhere. How many doors were knocked in Pennsylvania? 570?
No, it was more than that. It was more than, it was about 580. The goal was 500,000. We knocked 580. We wanted to get Republicans in 2024 that were around 22% for the mail-in vote in 2020. We wanted to get to 33%. We got up to 34.5, and that helped secure the difference needed to push Trump over the limit to guarantee victory against Kamala.
Yeah.
So we weren't trying to beat the Democrats at mail-in votes, because at the end of the day, I mean, we're Republicans. We want same-day voting, real ID, paper ballots. We want to vote on election day, but we fight fire with fire and play the rules based off how they are. The Democrats in Pennsylvania get 50 days of campaigning. Republicans have 1. So how are we supposed to compete with that evenly when the House has an edge that's built in for them? Just ignore the rules, not play it smartly. So we did it once, and it was an amazing thing. But if it's just a one and done deal, it doesn't matter. Conservatives, libertarians, we've been saying this for years. We got to build permanent infrastructure. And Cliff is traveling the country, building the army that's necessary to keep these liberty Republican victories up. So that way we can do what the Democrats have been trying to do, which is reroute the course we're on. If anything, we don't want to change the direction. We want to go back, because they have taken us so far towards socialism and this woke nonsense bullshit that if we could just get back to 10 years ago where people, weren't crazy like this, that would be enough progress. Yeah. Luckily, we've got the momentum, we've got the facts, we've got the truth, we've got the people. We just need to knock the doors, because doors win wars.
Look at you. That's the handle and everything.
It's doors like I memorized that or something.
It's like you've got to figure it. It's like you do this for a living to try to. But no, I mean, honestly, I can't. I have nothing negative to say about it, and I have lots of negative things apparently to say about a lot of things. I have nothing negative to say about all of the work, all the hard work that you two and by the way, when we reconnected, you and I found out you were working with Cliff. I'm like, oh shit, these are like two of my favorite people working together. Cliff doesn't stay put for more than like a day. It sucks. Traveling all the time sucks. And he's out there. He knows what he's got to do to make this work. He's out there garnering support, working with people, encouraging people to knock doors constantly. You're the man kind of on the back end, getting all the social media stuff done, doing all the hustling there too in the organization. And there's just so much that you guys are working constantly to build. And I give you all the credit in the world. You're doing stuff that, again, like obviously Turning Point's good at it. but you hyper focused it, but there are not. I mean, I look at it. What local GOP groups do, they're really not cutting it. State GOP groups not really cutting it. Like, you guys won Pennsylvania, and I know that you've been given the credit on that one a lot, and you really did. I mean, Trump did, obviously, but like, it was your effort and your actual hard work that like these other groups just weren't doing. And like go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pause you there. Like, I got to give credit where credit's due too. You know, our friends over at Early Vote Action, as well as Turning Point Action, registering folks to get ready, get out the vote. That was necessary for us to identify those Republicans and to get those people re-engaged. So that way we had names and addresses to go out and actually chase those ballots, but make sure that once they went ahead and requested them, that we go and knock on those doors to make sure they take those ballots sitting on the fireplace or the kitchen table and actually turn it in. And that's why we didn't keep up. I thought we were going to get like a vacation after the election. I didn't take a day off till probably like January. I took about a week off in January. I took Thanksgiving and Christmas off, but everything else, we just continued working because you can't let it be a one and done thing. We can't do all of this to bring Trump back from the biggest political comeback, ensure Republican majorities, and fight back against this woke culture, only to give it back to them in a couple of years. And it starts in this upcoming election. And I'm not talking the midterms. I'm talking for the state elections that are happening this November, whether they're primaries where we can try and get really good people in, or whether they're generals. But we've seen the problem for years. And Andrew Breitbart used to talk about this when he was alive. He was like, unless you build something that's going to be permanent and it doesn't just last every 2 to 4 years, nothing matters. Nothing matters. I worked for a guy during one of my first gigs in DC. His name is Adam Brandon. He was the president of FreedomWorks. And I remember he went ahead and shared something with me, which I've always kept with me through politics and business and just life. You just got to be scrappy, hungry, and nimble. Yeah. And, our team is all of that. We're scrappy, we're hungry, we're nimble, and we just don't stop. You don't stop. I think a lot of people tend to, motivate by, fear, insecurity in some cases in the realm of politics, just generally. I keep a good attitude about it. And it's what we tried to tell our door knockers and all of our people. We're warriors, but like, we're happy warriors. We're doing all of this because our answers are right. Our answers are peaceful. They look out for the better interest of people. It's the left, which is negative and scary and talking about how cow farts are going to end the world and shit like that. And they want to open up our borders so that way all the, Haitian cannibals can go ahead and eat the cats and the dogs. Like, we're just trying to put, a man back on the moon, get our dollar to be real, put Sydney Sweeney in commercials, and stop giving money to countries that hate us.
You're still hung up. Shit. You're still hung up on Sydney Sweeney. Everybody thought it was Sydney Sweeney who was a Supergirl at first.
Should have been. I would have given a higher review.
I would have accepted Sabrina Carpenter as well.
That too. She gets too much hate.
There's a hole. I don't want to get into it.
Do you want to get into that? Because I don't know if I'm emotionally ready for this.
I'm not ready for it either. I need like a good conservative chick on here to talk about it, because when they start talking about the what Sabrina Carpenter looking like a tiny baby that's in a outfit in lingerie or whatever, then they're like, oh, it's so offensive. And I go, oh yeah, I feel creepy for about a minute.
Yeah, we'll let that one just sit.
Like a minute. That's whatever, people. Listen, it's been an hour. It's been great hanging out with you tonight. Remzo Martinez, go over to campaignjobs.com/apply. And you can see right there. I'm always happy to help you with this. Always happy to. We should talk more about nerdy shit at some point, because you really are. You out nerd me, and that's really hard to do.
Everyone needs a hobby. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, no problem. And look, I want to thank Scott Kupor and the team over at OPM for letting us get the exclusive over there. And then tomorrow night, I believe we're going to have the exclusive with Kelly Loeffler. And I think I've got EJ Antoni on tomorrow night, the chief economist for the Heritage Foundation. But yeah, what a great time. Glad to have you here. An exciting show as always. And you're a great guest, Remzo. Once we figure out, I got to tell you, this audio shit and then the video, like, it's just so annoying. All of it's annoying.
We'll make it work.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Go follow Remzo at Hey Remzo. Also, go follow Scott Kupor and everybody else. Thanks.